Okay, good afternoon everyone, at least it's afternoon right now as I record this. I wanted to do reviews on these two items. These were a couple of items I actually received for Christmas just a few days ago. And I figured it'd be a good way to kind of capture the recent AGCO offerings produced by Ertl. So let's start with the Challenger here. So this Challenger is an MT965E, as you can see on the cab roof there. This is produced by Ertl. It has single, kind of the fatter duals on it. This tractor has probably been out, if I had to guess, I'd say probably about 3 years now. And there's two versions of it out there. There's the MT965E, which is this one. And it actually comes with a dozer blade on the front of it. As you can see, I have removed that. I don't care for it, but I prefer this tractor because it has the duals. There is another model that they released, an MT975E, which really the only difference between this one and that one does not come with the dozer blade, or grouser blade, as some people call it. It obviously has the 975E decal on the roof, and it has triples. The only thing I don't like about it is the triples are very wide. They're kind of unrealistically wide, if you ask me, because they're the same tires, these same wheels here, but well, they're obviously triples instead of duals, and it just looks strange. It looks unproportional, if you ask me. This one looks pretty proportional. If I can turn it kind of like that, I mean, you can see this looks reasonable. If you were to see one of these tractors in real life, this is probably what it would look like. So this to me looks reasonable, but when you get the triples, it just gets to where it's unproportional and a little too unrealistic for me. So that's one thing I want to take a look at, is this Challenger. And then the other thing is this Massey Ferguson windrower. This is a WR9870, and this one's newer. This one was released by Ertl around, I want to say maybe a year ago. It hasn't been out for very long, so no more than 2 years, I would say, if I was a guessing person. So I'm going to start with the Challenger here. And these are pretty modern toys for AGCO. These are for Ertl rather. Yeah, for AGCO also, but for Ertl, we really got a dry spell in terms of AGCO products from Ertl, or they were just using old stuff that, old castings that were already out there and just kind of recycling them. And we really kind of hit a lull with AGCO products from Ertl, but here in the last couple of years, they've stepped it up. And they're offering, both some old ones that they're reproducing as well as some new ones like this one. And these are probably, if you asked me, I would say these are two of Ertl's best pieces at the moment. These are probably two of Ertl's best products in recent history. Proportion-wise, this thing just looks fantastic. To me it looks like the real deal. The proportions look great. If you looked at one in real life, it really probably wouldn't look much different than this. It looks very realistic. It's very nice. We have very nice detail on it. The wheel rivets. So I complained a lot about Ertl showing the axle rivets and not covering the ends of the rivets. You can see here that they have. So the wheels look more realistic. So that's really nice. The wheels are a nice gray color, which is accurate with the actual machines. The lugs aren't painted, but that's fine. I don't have any issue with that. You have some moderate step detail. This isn't the best in the world, but it's not bad. You have some decent fuel tank detail. You can see, if I can get the camera to focus, there's a def tank lid right there. And really what it is they just have a little notch in the plastic, and then they just painted the top blue. But that's nice. I like that detail. That's a nice little detail to add. You can see it looks like there's a couple of other fill caps back here. If I had to guess, I'd say fuel and hydraulic fluid. I'm not overly familiar with four-wheel drive tractors. Cab glass. So it has an interior with cab glass. The interior's a little plain, but not bad. I mean, really not bad. There's a little seat with armrests. It's hard to get this thing to focus. You can see a little buddy seat. You can see a door handle. Pretty nice detail in there. If you look at the cab here, if I can get it to focus, you can see it has a couple rooftop beacons. It even has a little detail for a GPS unit. So that's pretty cool. You can see it has orange warning lights, orange hazard lights on the edges of the cab. It has some front mount fender work lights here. Actually, let me just turn this thing. So, and it is painted. It's painted silver to kind of reflect the, to represent the light lenses. So some front work lights there. Tires look good. They're kind of a harder, well, I guess they're rubbery. Anyway, plastic hood, which I find kind of interesting. I think the real ones have a metal hood. So this is a plastic hood. But it's not bad. You can tell the color's a little bit off from the metal next to it, especially when I was doing that side view. But other than that, it's not bad. I mean, you've got some pretty nice detail here. You've got the Challenger decals pretty accurate. You've got some black accents here that are painted. They're painted a little roughly. I mean, you can see the lines are not perfect, but they're at least present. Silver grille accents there. Your headlights kind of go in there. They're not really deciphered, but that's okay. The grille has some nice texture to it. That's really a neat feature. You can see going back up to the cab, there's a Challenger logo on the front. There is a front windshield wiper. I think that's some very nice detail. You can see some engine block detail down there. Not a ton of it, but there is some. Overall, this looks great. So kind of turning it around here. More of the same on this. The hood detail to me, I think, is very good. Some nice engine detail down there. The exhaust is pretty accurate, looks good, has a nice, fairly realistic looking mounting. And I just now noticed this. You can even see where they added a little piece to make it look like the exhaust is going down into the engine bay. So that's very nice. That is some very nice detail. I'm rather impressed with that. There's another work light there. Another side view of it here. You can see the difference in color here in the different yellows between the plastic, which is the roof, and the hood rather, versus the fenders and the rear section. You can see they do a good job getting the gray subframe, which is like the real ones. The real ones have a gray subframe and gray wheels along with the yellow body components. So looking at the back here, some very nice detail here. Again, I'm really impressed with this. There's cab work lights here. That is very nice, very realistic. The detail painting is not exact, but that's fine. It's a toy. It's a $15 toy. This all looks very realistic. You can see a little console in the cab there. Not the most detail in the world, but pretty darn good for Ertl. Stairs on this side. Coming back here, this is also, very good, very realistic. You have a Challenger. Now, this is just a sticker, but there's a Challenger decal there on the rear. You have more work lights back here, and you have your brake lights. Nothing here, so, no remote detail or anything like that, just a hitch. But that's okay, it's a toy. This is a toy. This is really not a collectible, so to speak. This is more of a toy. So, overall, this is probably one of my favorite Ertl products. It really is. I have two of these, of the 965s, and I have a 975, and they're just awesome. These things are really neat. There's a reason that I got another one of these. I love them. Very impressive. These decals, by the way, are tampos, they're not stickers. There's a lot of detail paint on this toy. It's really a neat replica. If you like Challengers, this is really something for you. For those wondering how I took the grouser blade off of it, the dozer blade off of it, there's 2 black screws on the front of the front chassis and 2 black screws on the back of the front chassis. You can see them clearly right there. What you do is you simply, the blade is screwed in with those. You take out the rear 2 screws, you take out the front 2 screws. Be a little careful because the front 2 screws are also, those are what's holding your hood on. So your hood will come off when you take those off. But you just remove those 4 screws, blade comes right off, no issues. And then I put all the screws back in. You have to put those front screws back in. You'll screw them a little deeper than when you took them out because you need to secure this tightly. You need to secure the hood down tightly. They will go in further without any problems. These back 2 don't go in very far before they bottom out, and you just leave them like that. I just leave them like that because I don't want to lose the screws in case I want to put it back on, so I just leave them down there. Doesn't bother me a bit. And you can see those screws go all the way in. They will bottom out. Don't get too crazy with it. You don't want to break the plastic hood, but you can do it that way. So it looks great. I'm very happy with this tractor. This is probably one of the best Ertl products I have seen, and I'm very happy that they have, you know, really done a good product in terms of a Challenger, because I absolutely love these tractors. I think these are my favorite 4-wheel drive tractors without a doubt, and I think they're very neat tractors. Moving along, I'm already 11 minutes in here, so I got to hurry it up. So the WR9870 windrower. This is also a nice little product from Ertl. Not quite as good as the Challenger, but I'm not going to complain about that. That's okay. I don't know what these retail for. I want to say about $15. Has some nice little detail. There's some work lights here. Has a nice little Massey emblem right there on the front, on the bottom of the cab. That's nice. Has a contrast steering wheel there, little black steering wheel, little seat, little console, front windshield wiper, headlights, or well, work lights rather, on the cab roof. You can see it has a little silver GPS receiver. Probably not accurate, probably should be white, but that's okay. Has this disc bind header on it, razor bar disc header. It attaches to it, so when you get the toy, this is separate and it just pops in, very similar to Ertl combines. You can see how it does that. And then that centerpiece just kind of sticks back in there. Doesn't really do anything other than just holds the header up. Just kind of like a lever effect, if you will. Decent cab detail. You can see a little door handle there. You can see armrests on the seat. I'm really impressed with the decals on this one. These decals are fantastic. That is an excellent decal. It does appear to be tampoed on. It's not stickers. So it's really nice. Decent little air cleaner and exhaust detail. You can see they put three caps on there, probably for hydraulic fluid, diesel, and DEF. You can see there's some nice little panel detail there that I really like that. The wheels are decent. They are moderately detailed, not too bad. You have some stairs there, no handrails or anything like that. The grille is missing some texture. There is no texture on the grille, but there's an emblem on the back. There's lights. There's some little light detail. SMV emblem. The rear axle doesn't do anything. You can see it looks like there's supposed to be cylinders to assist in steering, but there's nothing there. It doesn't do anything. It's just part of the casting. The back wheels look a little plain Jane, and they also look a little wide, but yeah, that's okay. You can see there's some work lights on the back there. That's pretty nifty. This side looks pretty good. Decals are, again, very nice. And I mean, that's really all there is to it. And as far as if you look at the bottom of the header, because I have a New Holland windrower that's probably 5 years old or so, and there's nothing on the bottom of the header. This one is at least boxed in. It's not just hollow. The New Holland I have is hollow, and it looks really hokey. This one is at least enclosed. And there's some very, very, very loose disc detail there, not much. And you can see they added a couple of little crimpers on the back, but other than that, not a ton of detail. Really, I mean, there's not a lot of detail here, and this is just a piece of solid plastic, this whole thing, including the skirting, that's just paint. So, you know, it's a little lacking on the detail, but Ertl doesn't really do a lot of detail with hay equipment. I think because that's not the big deal for farmers. The big deal for farmers are combines. They just don't focus a lot of time and energy on these things, and what you see is what you get. Had a little razor bar decal there. That's kind of a nice little detail. This thing's nice. I definitely, you can see the rear axle, what I was talking about there. It looks like there's supposed to be hydraulic cylinder, but it's not very detailed at all. The rear wheels don't turn either, I don't think. Well, maybe they do. Maybe they're just tight. So maybe they do turn. Overall, not a bad piece. I'm glad we have this. I think this is a piece that, you know, that we needed. It's nice to see Massey Ferguson get represented a little more than they have been in the past, because they have been kind of left out on some of these things. But they're finally getting some good representation, and you know, I'm pretty happy overall with the quality. These are two of Ertl's better toys. Ertl has done a good job with AGCO products. They always have done a better job with AGCO products than they have John Deere, which is funny since John Deere is their flagship, you know, and kind of their pride and joy, their livelihood, if you will. But they do better with AGCO products, I think. So these are two very good products. I'm glad we have them, and I hope they're an indicator of what's to come. So thanks for tuning in.